Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our reaction and review for The Testament Season 1, Episode 10. This is the finale, guys. It is sad. It is bittersweet. I just feel like this season has fired on all cylinders. I thought I was going to really like it going in, but it still managed to really blow me away. It's a little like Dexter Resurrection last year, where I had a lot of hopes it was going to be really good going into it. And then I actually watched it and I was like, man, this is so good. Like, this is even better than like the final season of the previous show. Good. Like, I had a great time with this.
Yeah, I had really high expectations with this show going into this show, and all of my expectations have been met. I just truly wish that they had not dropped 3 episodes at once. I know that they did this with The Handmaid's Tale as well, but we are in a new show. You guys could have not done that. That would have been awesome. We could have had a little more time to have discussed the show, but I am not mad. This show was so good. It was such a good ride. This finale, amazing. It ate. It was so good. We know we're going to be getting a season 2, which is very exciting. Hopefully it won't be too long of a wait. Please, that you will come back quickly, and instead you can maybe give us 13 episodes if you're going to drop 3 at once. I'm just saying, it feels like this season blew by.
It was really, really fast. And here's the funniest part of it to me. I had 2 very specific things I wanted heading into this finale. I was like, all right, number 1, I need to know who Daisy is. Like, I need to figure out her identity. Number 2, I needed to know the truth behind Aunt Lydia and the book, what was going to be going on here, who was going to find it. We didn't get either of these. And yet I still loved it. Like, that's the funniest thing. It completely did me dirty when it comes to actually fulfilling my expectations. And yet coming out of it, I'm like, you know what? I really don't need to know this. I'm fine to just let these stories play out. Like, clearly Bruce and everybody behind the scenes, like, they knew in advance they were probably going to get a season 2, which they obviously have since it filmed, but they knew that they're playing the long game. Like, we all have to just be okay with that as viewers.
Listen, I want answers too, but I am here for a slow ride. I want this show to last many, many more seasons. You want to keep some stuff from me, that is fine. We have a season 2 coming up. Hopefully we'll have like 6 more seasons, but don't drag out who Daisy is for 6 seasons. Like, you can let us know next season and bring in a new mystery.
Yeah, I mean, even though we didn't get answers on this stuff, we still got answers on a lot of other things. I think the stories progress forward in a really exciting way. We're, of course, going to get into it, but before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button to get all sorts of TV discussions, including on the Handmaid's Tale, on the Testament Season 2. Like, we have so much more coming on. And, of course, we love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments as well.
We also have a couple of theories discussions going on in our memberships that have no answers for still. One of them is, are we going to end up seeing Nick on this show in subsequent seasons and what that role might be? Another is all about Aunt Vidala and whether or not she's actually going to end up having revenge or going against Lydia. We had a little bit of discussion about that in this episode, but we are having a much bigger discussion on our YouTube membership. So be sure to join them. It really helps us here at the channel.
Thank you guys so much for your support there. Like, it really does help us more than we can tell you here.
Also, if you guys hear like hysterical laughing going on, I'm very sorry. I have just started potty training my son Felix like 4 days ago, and he thinks it's hilarious to pee on the floor. So we're trying to keep it as quiet as we can, but if you happen to hear that, that's what's happening. If anybody has any potty tips for me, leave it in the comments, because that's how it's going.
Yeah, let's all feel for Jess here. Jess is going through it, guys. All right, now there's so many different things that we learned about all of these characters. I think the big question mark that I had coming into the finale, beyond the stuff we didn't get answers to, is that it was out there that Elizabeth Moss was going to be in this finale. So I knew we were going to be seeing June again in some shape or form, but I didn't exactly know how. I couldn't figure out how exactly it was going to happen, but lo and behold, she actually has a connection here to Garth.
Yeah, I didn't know how she was going to come in either. And I did not expect it to be like this,
Mhm.
where Daisy was just going to kind of go off the rails and be like, you know what? I don't want to be part of Mayday anymore.
Mhm.
I'm doing what I want when I want when I want. And all of a sudden it's like over Boston radio, just be like, Shepard, can you come and take care of this? Like, we got a problem here.
Yeah, I didn't expect to hear Stephen Colbert's voice again either.
And Garth heard it. So it does make me wonder again, does he know June or not? What is going on here?
Well, that's the thing. I don't fully believe Garth at this point. Like, I think Garth is just trying to keep all of his cards close to the vest. Like, that is also consistent
Hmm.
with his character and
Yeah.
basically what we see about him, with a little bit of one exception, like through the entirety of this finale.
Yeah.
But seeing June, having this scene play out with June and Daisy, where Daisy is brought to her, and I love this scene mostly for one simple reason. Like, June, I love you, but I also got really agitated at you over the course of The Handmaid's Tale because you constantly were the queen of burdens. I must take everything on. I do
Hmm.
not trust anyone. And Daisy telling her off about it, I was just like, yes, Daisy, you are doing what all of us wanted to do with June for so many years.
I also love that June, after their discussions, like, okay, I'll leave you in, but you have to be safe. And Daisy is just like, I can't promise that. And even getting there isn't necessarily safe. She's
Mhm.
like put in a van, put in a barrel, driven out there. She doesn't know for sure
Yeah.
exactly what's happening to her. She's just taking these chances where it's like, if something bad happens, it happens, but it's for this greater good that I'm going to be able to maybe help this specific group of girls out. Maybe I'm not going to be able to do the greater good of everybody like a June, but I can do good right here.
What I really got out of this interaction, beyond just seeing Daisy stand on her own 2 feet and be awesome, was all right, well, it's even more clear June has some level of personal investment here in Daisy, and it's
Oh,
twofold.
yes.
Like, it's first and foremost, her desire initially to pull her out, kind of saying, all right, well, she does really care about on our personal level. She wants to make sure that she's safe. But I also feel like, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that's also the reason why she's willing to trust her at the very end of it. Because I just feel like if this was just some stranger, just like some person who June happened to interact because of her parents or whatever, I don't think she would have listened, because June has not listened to a lot of other people, including people she's close to. So it just feels like to me, this has to be someone you really feel like is capable. You have some sort of spiritual connection, perhaps, to her past that you think that she is going to be able to fulfill. Like, it's inspiring you to have this level of faith that you've just not really had in a lot of other people, like including even Luke, where she really
Mhm.
has to mean something to you.
Okay, that hug at the end again, I was just like,
Mhm.
all right, I know that Bruce and everyone is saying that this isn't Nicole, but you haven't said it's not Holly, so no, I'm just kidding. It could be. Anything's possible. Nothing has been revealed on the show yet,
Yeah,
but if we're just going along with what Bruce and everyone has said, this is not Nicole.
yeah.
Who is this then that she is hugging her like, she's letting her daughter go? It was in such a way that's there is some sort of bigger, deeper connection there. And it's driving me crazy that we just didn't get an answer to it. But what I was really
Mhm.
surprised about,
Yeah.
and it was truly a surprise, that June did not know that Daisy was in the same place with Hannah. Like, didn't know, and was just all of a sudden like, oh, what do you mean, Agnes? Do you mean this? Do you mean that? I was just like, oh my God, you didn't know?
Oh, that
I thought that she probably like placed her in, possibly with Lydia, to be put in with her daughter to kind of like put them together and watch over her daughter. And to see that reaction from June, I was having the same reaction. I'm like,
yeah.
girl, you didn't know?
I was shocked. Like, legitimately, this is why I'm saying this finale,
Shocked.
it did a lot for me, even if it didn't do what I expected, because I was 100% confident June was aware of all this. But it also
Yeah.
raises another question. I don't think this is a coincidence. Like, it can't be some act of
No.
randomness. So someone is responsible for putting for putting Daisy in the same orbit as Agnes.
Hmm.
So who could it be then? And this is where, hi, and Dowd. I love your work. I love you as Aunt Lydia. We still don't really know what's going on with you, but you are keeping track of that book. You're holding your cards very, very closely. Could you be behind all of this?
Absolutely. She's got to be the person that is behind this. It cannot just be a coincidence. Everything is set up for a reason and
Mhm.
in a way, right? Like they haven't had a chance to have somebody inside Mayday that's actually in the school. Oh man, they have an opportunity to do that now. It has to be Lydia. It's like, oh, we have this opportunity. Cool. We're gonna match her up with Agnes. We'll get into everything with Agnes, but that reveal at the end where Agnes is like, I know who my mother is, and Lydia's like, I knew your mom really well, and
Mhm.
amazing person. You're amazing. We'll be able to get through this. I was like, okay, you are the person who put them together.
Yeah, and that's why you knew you still feel like you know June so well because you're seeing June's reflection in Agnes slash Hannah. And I think just to speak of this from the larger Mayday point of view, I know it might sound a little bit strange for there to be, oh, Lydia's down here working with Mayday. Maybe she's working with someone else who's funneling information, like she has her own sort of contact. And why
Mm-hmm.
does Garth not know this? But it's not that strange to me that there could be multiple Mayday operations happening within the same place at once, mostly just because you have to keep your information really, really tight because you don't know who you can trust, but you also need a backup plan. Like, let's say something happens to Lydia and Lydia is involved in Mayday, and when, like, then you have nobody down there who you can deal with. That's why Garth is important, and vice versa. I think there are multiple people working with Mayday beyond just what we know right now.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if Lydia is either part of Mayday
Mhm,
or Mayday adjacent, where she is not with Gilead, but she knows that she has a position of power in Gilead,
mhm.
and the only person she's actually working with is just June and no one else. So that she's not necessarily Mayday, but she is working with June, who is Mayday.
Yeah, the only other idea I thought of was that maybe this could all be Vidala, that she's watching Lydia, that she would know where the book is, she could put the book here and back, but that's still a pretty large leap. Like, there's not that much direct evidence. All we saw in this episode, and you alluded to this earlier, is that, all right, Vidala definitely has not forgotten that Aunt Lydia nearly took
Yep.
her out in the past. Like, there's still some resentment there? Is them talking about it? Like, does that give me hope that they're gonna get past it? Not really.
Yeah, I mean, I would hold resentment as well. Somebody try to do that to me. I understand the circumstances, but still, it's not the greatest.
No, it's 100% not.
But also, it seems like they had problems before any of this happened, anyways. But I was just like, you've never liked me. Like,
Hmm.
what's the issue? And Lee's like, oh, everything's come easy to you. And she's
Yeah.
like, you don't even know me. Like, you don't know what my life was like before that. We just worked together. What are you talking about?
It's very odd that, like, the very thing that has kept Lydia alive for so long is that she doesn't really trust anybody. She doesn't really let anybody get close. But
Yeah.
I think ultimately this could also be the thing that leads to her undoing, no matter when it is. I don't want Lydia to go at any point in the near future, but it feels like if she ever gets in like real, real peril, who's going to be able to be there for her when
Yeah.
she is sort of so distant from almost everybody?
Yeah.
So a big part of this episode is a lot about, all right, who is going to be there for you when the chips are down? And we
Right.
saw Becca get taken by the eyes at the end of episode 9. And I think we all had theories as to, all right, is Garth going to be able to get her out? Is it going to be Lydia? Is it going to be all of Mayday? Like, we
Yeah.
all had ideas. And I didn't really see coming all of the various different ways this went because it turns out a lot of people tried to actually help Becca out here.
Yeah, and it was interesting too because there was a lot of discussion in our comments about was that the
Mhm.
eyes? Was that a bunch of ants? Was that, on and on. There was so many different theories and possibilities of who actually showed up to get her. And to me, this is a group of women I've never seen before. And I've been kind of calling them like the doctors,
Mhm.
like the mental health group of women that are showing up to bring you to this place, this facility, that if you've kind of gone off the rails, we'll call it, that you get put here. And there are a group of women all dressed in black that are working there.
I can't be well, I can be mad at Garth because I didn't want Garth to like put her in any sort of bad position, but I'm also just sitting back and feeling like Garth himself was never going to be able to take care of all this on his own.
No, and he was obviously quite afraid. We'll
Mhm.
get to, the wedding and everything, but as soon as he brought her home, he put her in a room and locked the door. So he's not afraid.
Yeah, like he is worried about everything that's going on. He also knows he's in a very compromised position. He can't stick his neck out too
Yes.
far in any way because then it's going to show who he is, who he stands for. It's why he has to be okay that Becca is put in this place in the first place, and he has to put a little bit of his trust into something somewhere else in order to ensure that she ever gets out. And if she doesn't, unfortunately, that's the way of it. I mean, that's something that June herself alluded to in her conversation with Daisy, where she says, we're going to lose people we love in the midst of this fight. Like, we have to be prepared for that and we have to accept that.
Okay, this is where Agnes really shines. I mean,
Okay.
she really put herself out there to do anything she could to help Becca, and that included burning her own opportunities to the ground. Where she's like, okay, I'm marrying Weston. He is the commander of the eyes. If anybody's going to be able to have her released from all of this stuff,
Mhm.
it is going to be the man that I am going to be marrying. And she actually trusts him enough to be like, this is what happened with the dentist, and it happened to me. And while at the end of it, Weston was like, okay, I'm breaking off this engagement. I can't be with you if this has happened to you, which was horrible.
Yeah.
He did decide that he was going to help Becca as much as he could. He got her out of the institution, back with her mom. We had the aunts get together and make up this story to be able to save her.
Mhm.
Agnes was really behind all of it. And now she is in this position of no one. She has no husband. She's back at square one.
I did wonder at first why Weston chose to do the thing he did with let Becca go, but I feel
I
like
too. Yeah.
I think a lot of it to him probably is just, I'm going to wash my hands of this situation. I don't want to hear about it anymore. There's somebody who is going to answer for what happened, and regardless of what's true or not true, then we can all just press onward. And because, like you said, he is a gross individual, the idea of him breaking
Yes.
things off with Agnes, not surprising. Like, I
No.
do wonder if she thought a lot about that consequence going into this, that this is sort of a way that she saw as, all right, I might be able to get out of this no matter what the consequences there are.
I don't think she thought that he was going to break off this engagement. I think she thought, as it should be, this is something that happened to me.
Yeah.
I didn't agree to this thing happening to me. This was out of my control happening to me, and didn't expect that then Weston was going to be like, oh, well, you've been touched, so I don't want you anymore.
So awful. Like, I mean,
So gross.
yeah, like these. I don't know if we needed another reminder that so many of these commanders are the absolute worst, but we absolutely got it in this episode.
Yeah.
And this then brings us to another question I thought we were going to get an answer to in the finale. What is going on with Commander Mackenzie? Because we know that he's not in full lockstep with all these other commanders. And this episode, again, he continues to be so befuddling because it is Paula who completely crashes out over this engagement and this wedding not happening. And Mackenzie has a very different reaction. Like, he's a commander. I still don't feel like he is a good guy, but he does have this interesting relationship with Agnes where either he does listen to her or he really just wants Agnes to think that he listens to her. I mean, either way, like, it's just so different than a lot of these other commanders right now.
He makes me think
Mhm.
that he cares about her, which is a dangerous thing, right?
Mhm.
Because we're in Gilead and commanders are all bad.
Yeah.
I don't care. They all are.
Mhm.
And for him then to make me feel like he actually cares about her makes me think that maybe he's actually worse than I think. Because every time I think somebody might be somewhat good as far as a commander, at the best they are riding the fence.
Yeah, and we've talked about this too with Judd of being the whole wolf in sheep's clothing, right? Where you put
Right.
on a good presentation, but that's because you can hide the darkness, and there are certain commanders in this world who absolutely certainly cannot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do eventually get to, because of all of these various machinations, Becca is able to be set free. We have the most miserable wedding of all time that happens. Very quiet, very sad. You
Oh
got
my
Judd presenting it.
goodness. Watching the aunt with like the syringe, I was like, oh my goodness. Becca can't even get through this without help.
It was so unbearably bad to watch. And that's
Oh.
with Garth being the groom. And I mean, Garth, I guess he is a commander at this point. I mean, compared to all the other commanders, I guess he's good, but it's just like, even with him, this was all so bad. And it's a very interesting contrast that we have this big, supposedly romantic moment, which we know is never going to be romantic in Gilead with the institutions that are
Mhm.
there. But alongside that, we actually have the kiss that happens with
Mhm.
Agnes and Becca, where there is like real legitimate affection, something that does not exist very often in this world.
Yeah, and it was actually really surprising to see Becca decide to make this move. I think at this point she realized, what else could happen to me? I've, killed my dad.
Yeah.
I've been able to get out of it. Now I don't have my mom anymore. She has taken the fall for me. I have nothing to lose anymore and everything to gain by just stealing this simple kiss that is not simple in Gilead. But the fact that Agnes actually returned that kiss, I mean, that could be the thing that it keeps the fire alive in Becca for the rest of her life, to be like,
Yeah.
at least I have the memory of a very real kiss with someone that I truly love.
Yeah, and that's why
It's so sad.
it was so sad. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting reads on that scene online, because I think there's going to be a school of thought where, did Agnes know that these particular feelings are ones that Becca had all of this time, or more recently, like deep down, was this something she was aware of? Because, she did return it. She didn't seem to panic in the moment. She may have just thought, like you said, she's giving her an element of hope. Like, she might have feelings herself. It's all kind of hard to say, because she also clearly has feelings for Garth. And I mean,
Mhm.
it's her pleading to Garth that seems to convince him to marry Becca in the first place.
That's the thing, and that's going to be the most interesting read on it. And we definitely want to hear from you guys
Mhm.
in the comments. Is Agnes actually interested in Becca? Because if she is, for me, they didn't build that up throughout the show. They definitely built it up about her feelings for Garth, but they didn't build it up enough in the show that I was like, oh, Agnes for sure, absolutely has these same feelings for Becca as well. So when the kiss happened, I was like, is Agnes returning this kiss as a kindness, as her friend, to be like, she's in this horrible situation. She's in such a vulnerable situation. The worst things have happened to her. Agnes might also feel guilty about it. Man, I called my mom and dad to help with
Mhm.
this, and it did not help at all. And look at what's happened to her now. I'm going to give this as kindness?
I think
Question mark?
I think it's kindness. I think it's an act of love, but there's different kinds of love.
Yes,
And we all are really, really aware of this. Like, yeah, it's possible Agnes can love multiple people at the same
of
time. I
course.
learned this from many seasons of The Bachelor, but I also just feel like this is a situation where, yeah, like you said, she knows everything that Becca has gone through. I think she also knows that they can't really be together in this
No.
place anyway. And so this is just a situation to help to send Becca forward to whatever else is next, because I think Agnes trusts Garth, that trust that Garth is not going to be terrible. And yeah, it's very hard and very bad to put trust in a man in Gilead a lot of the time, but this is really the only thing that Agnes can kind of cling to at this moment.
And the thing about Agnes, and she has said this a few times on the show, that her fantasy life is very active and that
Mhm.
it is the thing that really keeps her going. So, I mean, maybe there was a part of her giving that kiss that's like, I'm going to make sure that she is also able to have that she can live in her head to get through the reality of the things that are happening here in Gilead.
I just think in totality for Agnes, this finale is really about an awakening. And to kind of go full circle here to the start of the video, this is something I really hoped we would get, and they delivered throughout the finale. Was not necessarily Agnes standing up and being like, let's go Mayday, I know everything, but that she is aware of so much more at this point. Like she's willing to think outside of the Gilead bubble. Obviously, getting that information from Daisy about her truth, her past, her identity, like being able to speak on it. Like those are like those powerful moments that make you just be like, Agnes, yes, like as you're watching those final scenes.
Her pulling out that paper with the drawing with her name on it. I mean, we've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
We all knew that that happened in Handmaid's Tale. There was a lot of questions about it where we're all like, why is she just accepting all of a sudden her name is Agnes? She was writing her name in Handmaid's Tale. Like, what has happened to her? Gilead has happened to her. But to have this information come in, her pull out this piece of paper to remember who she is, realize that Daisy is telling the truth, and then to have that conversation with Lydia. Oh my God, it was just like pop, 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 the ending of this.
Yeah, entire last 5 minutes. Like even just the scene of Agnes not knowing what her future holds, what her prospects are
Yeah.
going to be, walking with Daisy and Shu, who is there with them. They all seem like there's actually a little bit more of a unit moving forward where they
Yeah.
can share more information. Maybe they won't be fully transparent right away, but I just think we're actually going to get there.
I think so.
That is now where we are coming out of the season 1 finale of the Testaments. What did you guys think? Where do you think we're going? Let us know. And thank you so much
you.
for hitting that subscribe button, supporting us all season long. And we will see you here next time.